welcome to Talking Politics on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. I am Musa Ze Isesele, reaching you live from our Abuja studios, Nigeria. Agitations are already on the way for the increase of polling units for elections in Nigeria as members of the National Assembly seek more representation of the people. But before we get into that conversation, it does seem that President Muhammadu Buhari is in a hurry to see results regarding the security situation in the country. And that is why he has given the security chiefs the mandate to deliver in securing the country within the next few weeks. President Buhari gave them this directive during the promotion ceremony where he decorated the service chiefs with new ranks. Lucky Irabo, Chief of Defense Staff, is now a 4-star general. Ibrahim Atahiru, Chief of Army Staff, was decorated with the rank of Lieutenant General after his promotion from Major General. Awal Gambo, Chief of Naval Staff, is now a Vice Admiral, up from Rear Admiral. Isiaka Amoa, Chief of Air Staff, was decorated with the rank of Air Marshal, a step above Air Vice Marshal. The president told them that the mandate is to get the job done before the start of the rainy season, to the level that farmers who had fled their farms in different parts of the country would have developed enough confidence to return to their farms. The promotion of the service chiefs follows their screening and confirmation by the Senate. Let's take a listen to President Muhammadu Buhari.
During our 4-hour security meeting, I have taken the responsibility as Commander-in-Chief for you to go out into the field and secure the country. I have accepted responsibility for your action in the field. It's up to you to identify your competent officers, irrespective of seniority and paper qualification, and deploy them to make sure that we secure this country. We have got a few weeks to do that because by the rainy season, we expect people to develop confidence and go back to the land so that we don't get in trouble by being away from the field and therefore unable to produce enough food for the nation. We all look forward to you to perform, and I, as the CNC, I'm backing you 100%, and I expect you to effectively deploy your officers and men to secure the country.
Before we get into the conversation for today with my guest, Olubunmi Ayontunji, a legal practitioner and convener of the Policy Roundtable, let's take some trending political headlines. Do stay tuned.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to synergize with governors, security chiefs and other stakeholders to de-escalate tension occasioned by the high level of insecurity in the country. Jonathan made the call when he led a delegation of politicians from Bayelsa on a condolence visit to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa at Government House of Delta State, Asaba, over the recent demise of the governor's father, Sir Okorie Okowa. He said it is unfortunate that school children and many Nigerians were being kidnapped for ransom. Jonathan further stated that he believes that with the commitment of the governors and the federal government, it will be possible to address the issue of insecurity in the country. Commending the president over his efforts to tackle insecurity, Jonathan asked Nigerians to join hands in making the country safe for all. The national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has urged youths in Agege and Lagos in general to embrace peace and avoid thuggery. Tinubu gave the advice on Friday during the inauguration of the 1.4-kilometer flyover at the Penn Cinema Junction in Agege. He urged them to embrace peace for prosperity of the area. According to him, no meaningful development can be achieved in an atmosphere of insecurity, hence the need to embrace peace at all times.
All of you youths, please, if you see the kind of progress and economic resuscitation and development that this road will bring back to this neighborhood and Lagos State as a whole. You should be commended for cooperating with the contractor. But that's not alone. We commend you for maintaining peace. And don't copy vagabonds. Don't emulate those who are in thuggery. There's no development if there's no peace. We must embrace peace to have development. The government is doing so much to give you good foundation in education. That is an investment in your future.
Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has said his administration would not negotiate with criminals. Governor Bello's remarks come 2 days after members of the Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers in Nigeria called off their industrial action, protesting what they described as incessant attacks on their members in the south and extortion by security agents on highway. Bello said anybody that is carrying rifles or arms against the state are criminals and he will not subscribe to negotiating with them. On the issue of the Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers in Nigeria, who called off their strike on Wednesday, the Kogi State Governor said no amount has been fixed yet to compensate members of the union. He also stressed the need for the traders to be compensated for their losses. Bello concluded by saying that he was directed by President Muhammadu Buhari to liaise with the police and other security agencies to ensure lives are secured and that extortion stops. Following the earlier strike, Governor Bello and the former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode, intervened, which led to the call-off.
Welcome back and thank you so much, everyone. Now let's get into our conversation for today with Olubunmi Ayontunji, a legal practitioner, convener of the Policy Roundtable, a result-oriented NGO that leads productive conversations on governance reforms, policies, and issues in the polity. Olubunmi, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, now let's get your reaction first as regarding the security challenge in the nation. It's one of the biggest stories we have all across the nation today. The president, of course, have come under severe criticisms from several quarters as regarding the challenge, and he has given the service chiefs a very short time to deliver as regards curbing security. What's your reaction to the president's orders?
I think with due respect to the CNC, it's all noise, no actions, right? Before now, there has been pressures that was mounted on the presidency and the president as a person to change service chiefs. And in fact, we would cast our mind back to a time when the president actually told the former service chiefs, some of them, to relocate back to the theater of war. How many of them listened to that directive? So I do not think is that what he said to the new service chief is nothing more than an admonition. I do not want to think that's a deadline because we need to see conscious actions beyond admonitions, beyond words, beyond constant rhetorics. It's Nigerians are really, really tired. People are dying by the day needlessly. So I would enjoin or probably join my voice with other Nigerians to call that the new service chief should step up actions to nipping these old banditry, kidnappings, and killings in the bud once and for all. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Olubunmi, moving away from security, let's dive into our conversation really for today. Looking at the delineation of polling units and, of course, creating more access to polling units by INEC so people can have greater representation. Even the National Assembly, some reps in the National Assembly have made that call, have made that agitation that there should be an increase in the polling units all across the nation. Can you give us an insight into that development and what your reactions are?
All right, the call by stakeholders and indeed members of the National Assembly for INEC to increase the number of polling units across the nation is really timely. As of now, we have about 119,073 polling units across the country, which actually is so small compared to our surging population and the amount of voters that have been registered as of now. I think we have about 80 million or 80.4 million registered voters now. So the call by stakeholders for INEC to increase polling units is really timely. And again, INEC has accepted and they're pushing to add 57,023 polling units to the polling units that we have currently as a country. That is really timely. That is really acceptable. However, I wouldn't want to lead you into further questions, but then the problem would now be the yardsticks that would be used to delimitate these units.
Okay. All right. We talked about the issue of time. Now let's look at the yardsticks. What would be the proper yardsticks for INEC to go through? As a policy shaper, what do you think would be the proper yardsticks for INEC in terms of coming up with this polling unit so that it reaches to the very people who would need to be part of this?
All right. First of all, can you confirm you can? Hello?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now. You can go ahead.
INEC being hello?
Go ahead, I can hear you perfectly.
The last time we had this was about 25 years ago. And now that it is coming, I think it's really a welcome idea. Now, there's something that I referred to earlier that I called polling unit configurations. Actually, it's more of a roadmap on how this will be delimited. And over time, like administration to administration, INEC as an organization actually have this footprint on how they will do it. But basically, there's a need for INEC to have in this kind of issue, like beyond what we hear that INEC is currently doing, we hear that INEC is currently consulting with stakeholders, ethnic organizations, and other ethnic organizations, basically. I think beyond this, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Right. I think beyond this, INEC would have to make sure that the integrity of the process is not tainted. Elections are not just conducted on the day of elections. Processes leading to the electioneering process basically would have to be untainted. The integrity would have to make it so plain on how or the yardsticks they are going to use to partition these units. For example, I'm from Osun State. How many units are you bringing to my constituency? What are the yardsticks that you're using to delineate units in the hinterlands and the villages in my community? How many goes to Ebonyi? How many goes to Kano and all that? So it goes beyond engaging stakeholders, though it's part of it, right? But it goes beyond that. I think INEC would have to, because in this country we have a problem of shortage of data as regards persons and the units that are intended to be added. So INEC would have to really step up and go beyond the rhetorics and words into actions. They will have to send their field marshals into because like I have always said, it goes beyond elections. Access to elections is very, 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 very primary. My constituency, for example, I would have to walk because on election day, vehicular traffics are stopped and all that. So I have to walk a long mile to vote. So it will be very nice if that is taken into cognizance and all that. So access to the voting process would be the primary aim here. And I join INEC and the stakeholders involved here to make the process really transparent and make the process not lack integrity.
Okay, before we let you go, Mr. Olubumi, let's look at the elections. The elections is 2 years away. 2023 is just by the corner. As a policy shaper, what advice would you give to INEC as regards conducting the best process that helps us through the best of us into leadership?
First of all, we practice practice democracy in Nigeria, and no election is perfect. We understand that, but consistently we've had in the past elections we've had people complain about the process, which sometimes can be quite normal. However, there's a process going on now with electoral amendments currently in the National Assembly. I think now we are criminalizing vote buying, which is a very, very, very good innovation. Legitimizing the electronic voting process and the card reading process. Then the security of lives and properties at the polls. That's a very good one. We really hope the legislators step up processes as regards this and pass same to the president. And we really hope the president do not withhold assent to the bill this time around. I learned that the public hearing was recently concluded, and it involved nearly all stakeholders and civil society organizations there. So INEC is actually on the right path, to my opinion, using the legislature, and then orientation, and now increasing polling units. INEC is on the way to have an all-inclusive elections, and I think if the willpower is increased, if the surge in these innovations continues like this, we'll have a very awesome shift from how we used to conduct elections in the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olubunmi Ayotunji, a legal practitioner and co-convener or convener of the Policy Roundtable. Thank you so much for sharing these thoughts with us today.
My pleasure.
That's the weekend edition of Talking Politics on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. Log on to our website, www.tostvnetwork.com, to watch more episodes of Talking Politics. I am Musa Ze Isesale. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.